Jim and I met in middle school in the 80s. And then when we graduated, we went off to our respective schools. What I began to see in Jim at that time was a real curiosity about the world. I think he was discovering that, wow, there are stories on history and experiences that are so beyond anything that I know or was taught. And he wanted to dig into it. He wanted to understand it.
Jim was a great guy, but also we spent a lot of time talking about things we were learning at Marquette, like religion, politics, history, philosophy, which philosophers are you reading, and really kind of really got into that, man. It was great, and that's how we connected.
I think the idea of moral courage really lived in Jim. His innate sense of brotherhood, of social justice, of the desire to give voice to the voiceless, those things combined when he was faced with the most challenging circumstances that life can present, he really was able to rise to the occasion and demonstrate moral courage.
Jim had a strong view of right and wrong, or doing the right thing in a very difficult situation. A situation where, the outcome might not be positive for you, but at the end of the day, it is the right thing to do.
The influence of the James Foley Legacy Foundation is remarkable. Policy change is not easy. It's really through the leadership of Diane and Diane's own moral courage that we have been able to see remarkable change in what the government is willing to do for Americans held captive overseas.
Prior to Jim, being kidnapped along with others, the way that the U.S. government dealt with these unfortunate situations was very disparate. There was really no consistent treatment across the board.
The first time I met Diane Foley in person, everything that you might think is true. I mean, she's nice, she's sweet, she's kind, but at the same time, you come away immediately with the impression that she's tough, she's resilient, and she's focused. There's no other way that this person could have helped create the hostage recovery enterprise in the wake of her son's passing. And there's no other way that you could account for the great work that she's done in bringing Americans home. The James W. Foley Legacy Foundation, to my mind, has been fundamental to the growth of what we call the hostage recovery enterprise. They create awareness, they advocate on Capitol Hill for those that have been taken and for their families. They also worry about journalist safety.
When Jim was kidnapped in Libya, there was a group of alumni and friends called the FOJs, Friends of Jim. And this was a ragtag group of Marquette alumni that had expertise in various areas. And everybody came together and they all found a place.
I think the relationship of Marquette University and the Foley Foundation really complement each other. And I think that's why Marquette is so important to Diane. She knows what was born in Jim while at Marquette, and I think she appreciates that deeply. Jim is very much alive for me. Jim's legacy is around me in so many ways. Jim's instincts to hear the stories of others, not to speak, but to listen. That legacy is with me. And I hope that this service award inspires someone else.
As a journalist, you never want to be the story. You're there to report the stories. So I think Jim would be a little bit embarrassed about all the attention put on him, right? But I think he would understand.
Jim Foley's legacy has been carried on by the hard work that his mother's done in creating this foundation, but also in the work that the foundation, Diane, and those who have been tied into the Foley Foundation have done in building out this entire enterprise. There are Americans that are home now with their families that are there as a result of the work of Diane and the legacy that was created in Jim's name.
The Marquette University Alumni Association proudly presents the Service Award to Jim Foley and the James W. Foley Legacy Foundation.